While Maribel takes care of your information to do your card, I just want to show you how the card will be. We have different colors actually. This is the lilac one, and this is my personal card. We also have green, yellow, pink, and I think blue. And this is very practical because you have the bigger card, and then you also have like a little tag with a hole that you can use to like attach it to your keychain or anywhere basically that you might like to have a smaller version of the card. Yeah, very practical. And what color would you like so I can tell Maribel? Okay. Yeah, Maribel, did you hear what they say? Good. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Okay, so if I got it right, you came here so you wanted to borrow some books, and okay. Okay, so you are in a book club and you have to read a variety of different books. Okay. Yeah, so just tell me what is the vibe of each book that you want to take, and I can just suggest you something if you don't have any particular title in mind. No? Okay. So yeah, just tell me. Okay. Okay, so you have to read a retelling of a classical book. Okay. Can it be like maybe something from Shakespeare? Okay. And let me ask you something. Do you like fantasy by any chance? Oh, you love it? That's perfect. Then I have the perfect book for this category, which is this one. It is called These Violent Delights, which, as you may know, is a famous Shakespeare quote by Romeo and Juliet. And this is actually a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. It's a fantasy retelling set in the Roaring 20s in Shanghai. Yeah, it's very, very, very good, very charming. Yeah, in a way, if you can say that about a book. And it's by Chloe Gang. So, can we put this in the yes pile? Good. Then tell me another title that you have to read. Well, another category of book. Okay. Something about mermaids, sirens, and the sea. Okay. You know, since you told me that you like fantasy, I can suggest you this one. This is called From the Mouths of Sirens. It's a fantasy book, actually. It's from an indie author, Abigail Hare. And it's very high stakes, adrenalinic adventure and romantic fantasy story. Very good, very beautiful. Yeah, of course it features the sea, a main character which is a siren. Yeah, but there are also a variety of other characters. You're interested? Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the yes pile. Then tell me something else. Okay, you have to read a gothic classic. Well, the first thing that comes to mind, if you haven't read it already, is, of course, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Yeah, I'm sure you know the story, but you haven't read it. Okay. Okay, so if you haven't, this is a very, very good book. It's different from what most people expect to find when they read it. Yeah, it's also very sad, but absolutely beautifully written. So this is a yes. Good. Okay, so I see that you have to read a lot. I remind you that you can take up to, let me think, 10 books, yeah, at a time, in once. Yeah, you can of course come tomorrow and take more books, and you can keep each of them for 1 month, that is 30 days, but you can do, you can ask to keep them, I believe it's 2 more weeks. Maribel, I'm sorry, if they do they ask to keep the books more, is it 1 or 2 weeks? 2 weeks, okay. Yeah, so you can keep each book for a total of 1 month and a half if you ask it in advance before the end of the time. So don't worry, even if they are a lot, you have enough time to read them, yeah. Okay, so tell me another title. I really like doing this. Okay. You have to read a romance classic, okay. So once again, the first title that comes to mind when you talk about romance classics is this one. We even have a very beautiful edition of this one, and it is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Yes, this edition is stunning, cloth bound with all these peacocks. Yeah, very beautiful. And you haven't read it, but you saw the movie and you liked it. That's perfect, because the book is even better. Yeah, I know. So I guess you want to take this one. Good. Okay, so tell me more. Okay, a dark academia book. Okay. Yeah, I have another fantasy for you, which is this one. It's called The Atlas 6, and it's the first book of a dark academia fantasy saga by Olivia Blake. It's very beautiful because besides the whole dark academia vibes, which are very, very strong in the story, when I read it, I really liked the multiple points of view of the narration. If I'm not mistaken, I think there are 6 characters, all protagonists, and all with their own perspective and voice and narration. Yeah, that's very, very interesting, very fascinating to read. So you like it? Good. Okay, tell me more if you have more. How many books do you have by now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you have 5 books, so you have space to take more if you want. You have 4 more categories. Oh boy, yeah, you have a lot to read. So tell me another one. A book with dragons. Okay, so this, I'm afraid, will have to be another fantasy. And if you want, just to diverge a bit from the classical fantasy with dragons books, I have this new story that just came out some months ago, and it immediately became a big success. Yes, what they call, Maribel, I'm sorry, what do they call it? Like book talk phenomena? Yeah, it's a book talk phenomena. You maybe know what I'm talking about. It is this one. It's Fourth Wing. I haven't read it, but my niece told me that she fell in love with the story. I think not only with the story, but even with some steamy moments between the characters. But of course, as you can see from the very cover, this features dragons a lot. Yeah. You're interested? Very good. Okay. So then what do we have? Okay, a book with witches. Book with witches. That should be a fantasy as well, I think. Yeah, I have the perfect one. Let me look. Okay, yeah. I found it. This is Serpent and Dove, which is the first book in a trilogy which takes inspiration. We could say that this is a retelling as well, because it takes inspiration from Snow White and the Hunter. Yeah, only that in here Snow White is a witch. Yeah, very fast-paced, but not in a bad way. I really liked it. The protagonist is sassy and stubborn. Okay, so you want it. Good. Then, okay, you have to read a realistic, everyday life, okay, mainstream narrative-like book. Yeah, I got it. I got the vibe. There are a lot of titles that could go well with this category. Let me think. Let me see what we have here. I got it. Maybe you heard about this as well. It's called Normal People by Sally Rooney. And this is a story of friendship, of love, of conversations, casual conversations, more deep conversations. It's a story about paths that intertwine and then grow apart and then meet again. Yeah, that's the vibe. Yeah, okay, so this is what you were looking for. Good. I'm gonna put it in the pile. Let me check again how many books do we have. Okay, so you have one more, you said? Okay. A fantasy classic. Oh boy, I think that your reading group is a fan of fantasy. Yeah, not only you. Good, but you know, I don't know if you've heard of it or anything. I'm just joking, but maybe the main fantasy classic is this one here. Yeah, it's the entire collection of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien in this beautiful collection edition that we do give away to borrow. Yeah, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Very beautiful. Of course, if you haven't read it, this is a staple for every fantasy lover. It's a yes. Very good. Okay. So if you have nothing else to take, you have one more spot for your books. You okay? Good. I think, Maribel, have you by any chance finished with the card? Thank you, love, thank you. Yeah, you're sweetie. Okay, so since you chose lilac as your card color, here is your card. Oh, well, before I do that, I have to pass it. Okay, now you can keep it. Yeah, so your books are all there. If you need a bag, anything to carry them, okay? Yeah, you came equipped, I see. So thank you so much, dear. I had a lot of fun helping you choose all these books, and if you want to leave a review for the library, or even if you want to do a book review when you finish them, I'll be more than happy to read it, okay? Thank you so much, dear. Have a nice day and a nice reading. Bye bye.